Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another week of groups. Believe it or not, we are in week number 9. And just for your information, groups will be ending. The official day is May 5th on that Sunday. So mark that on your calendar. That'll be the last week we'll be meeting as a group. If something looks a little bit different, I am not Pastor Michael. That means that I preached Sunday morning, and I'm glad you made it here tonight. So I want to start off this evening with an icebreaker. And the icebreaker is, what did you love as a kid that's not around anymore? You know, one thing I think about are the clackers. You had the big balls, look like huge marbles on the end of a string. Don't know how people didn't get killed. They probably did. That's probably why they're not here anymore. I used to love lawn darts. You throw them up in the air, big metal dart, and it comes right back down to you. So those are a couple things I miss as a kid that's no longer around. So go around the room, talk about what was around when you were a kid, and what that you loved then that's not around any longer. Have fun with that one. The woman at the well takes up quite a bit of scriptures in the Bible. It's John chapter 4, verses 5 through 42. We're not going to ask you to read that in your group tonight. That may take up the whole group time. But what I would like you to do is a couple of people read these scriptures. Someone read John 4, verses 15 through 18. Someone else read John 4, verses 28 and 29. And then someone else read John 4, verses 39 through 41. So get 3 people, read those scriptures, and then we'll come back with a few questions. Okay, this morning we talked about Bold Evangelism Part 2, and the story was about the woman at the well. And there's so much in that story. You could go so many different ways with it. But we talked about evangelism. We talked about an invitation with the woman at the well and how she responded there. But one of the things we discussed was, and you've all heard this before, you're the only Bible that some people will ever see. You're that Bible, and we're all flawed as well. The Bible is perfect. It's no errors at all, but our Bible that we live each day will have some flaws to it. What is something you could change or improve on that would make your Bible more impactful? Go around the room, talk about that. What's 1 or 2 things that you could do personally that would make your Bible, what people see that don't go to church, that would make your Bible much more impactful? Go around, ask that question with a few people. One other question that I want to hit on today is, we talked in the message this morning about your invitation. Giving an invitation to someone, receiving invitation from someone. I want to know, I told you my invitation story in the message today. What is your invitation story? Maybe some of you like myself grew up in church. You may say, I was never invited, but I still had an invitation story. So go around the group, a couple of people, talk about your invitation story. Were you invited by someone to church? Did you invite someone to church? How was that received? Talk about that. Go around the room, have some discussion on what was the invitation. Did you give it? Did you receive it? And how did that impact you or the person you invited to church? Welcome back. We are now going to talk about our deep dive. This is one of my favorite parts of this because we give you some latitude just to go in different areas and different discussions of what was talked about in the sermon this morning. We talked about the woman at the well, and again, this was really about the invitation she gave. It's about evangelism. There are so many other areas of this story with the woman at the well. As you read through it in preparing for tonight, or as you heard the scriptures read this morning, was there anything in there that maybe we didn't talk about? Another aspect of the woman at the well, maybe something from you reading it in the past that really impacts you. Let's talk about that. What are some other areas of the woman at the well that you had questions about, or that really impact you that you want to share with the rest of the group? So go ahead, talk a little bit more and go a little deeper into that entire story of the woman at the well and what that really means. My favorite part of the night is prayer. I love prayer, and I want to do something a little bit different than what we normally do. It's kind of the same, but it's just different focus on our prayer. As we break up in a time of prayer this evening, go around, get prayer requests like we always do, but we all had this card. You either filled it out last week, maybe you filled it out today. Maybe you haven't filled it out yet and you're still thinking of who do I want to invite for Easter. Take this card and pray. Let's take time to pray tonight for the people that you wrote down. Maybe you want to share that person's name. It's something we can do in a group. You can tell everybody who you invited. Go ahead and share that, and we can all pray for them together. So if you have 15 people in your group tonight, if you have 5 people in your group, whatever it is, pray for each name individually that they will attend Easter services. As you saw in some of these statistics that we shared on Sunday morning, that people will respond positively if asked by a friend or a family member. So take this card tonight, pray over it, and pray over those people individually. Share those with each other. Maybe put that in your group text so we can all continue to pray for each other. I know as a staff, we are praying for every single person's name that was written down on a card every single day all the way up until Easter. So if y'all can do the same on your part, it will have a huge impact, and we'll watch what God's going to do through prayer on Easter Sunday. Thank y'all. You have a great night, and we will see you here next week or in 2 weeks.